is just ah. This shit's had my emotions like a roller coaster all day long, but I finally landed on one. I am fucking pissed. So obviously being a very small channel, I have a regular 9-to-5 job. And so while everybody like FaZe Banks and Keemstar and Scarce are dropping all these videos during the day, I don't get to make any sort of reaction video like right away. I don't get to make any commentary about it right away. I get to sit there and wait and wait and wait. And by the time that I get around to making a video, it's just Obviously, the first video that got dropped today was FaZe Banks. He had an interview with Max Beaumont, who was the one who was buying him drinks all night long at Warwick Nightclub last Wednesday night. And we heard straight from Max, he did not see Banks kissing anybody.
The first thing that I want to make very clear is I did not see you kiss anybody that night.
Thank you. Okay. Because I didn't kiss anybody.
He did not see Banks assaulting anybody.
Second thing, I did not see you assault anybody that night.
Including Meg Zelly.
Including Meg Zelly, okay. I did not see you assault anything that night.
He didn't see Banks anywhere near Meg Zelly, and so it just immediately I'm just fucking furious because aside from Meg Zelly herself, there were only two other people from Team 10 there, Alex Lange and Max Beaumont. And of those two people, Max Beaumont completely fucking quit Team 10. He admitted to Banks and later on he admitted to Keemstar that he just could not stomach holding the information in any longer. He had to tell the truth, and he did in both videos. He admitted that Taylor Kniff and Banks were both very awesome, very welcoming all night long. He said that Banks even gave him a hug, which surprised him, and he said he didn't see any point where Banks had even crossed paths with Meg, but he did admit that at one point during the night, Meg did tell him that she ran into Banks and that she got a bruise from him. Max corroborated what was initially said by Nick Crompton, that Meg thinks it was an accident because she told him it was an accident also, but she also said that he did give her a bruise that night. Banks has tweeted out information that he found regarding the development of a bruise. He even went over it in the video today, that it is physically impossible for a bruise to develop instantaneously, and that by the time that the bruise shows up the way that it did in Jake Paul's video, a couple of days would have had to have already passed.
So I just want to touch on the fact that it's literally impossible, it's physically impossible to be struck and within 20 minutes have a visible bruise on your body. It reddens first, it'll take about a day or two to bruise into purple.
Okay, so she showed me some bruise on her neck that night. I remember it.
Okay, so what that tells me is that bruise did not come from me, because it's physically impossible for it to come.
Now, all that information right there is the reason why when Banks' video dropped, I was totally fucking hyped. I was psyched the fuck up. I was like, I want to make a video on this, and I was going to be screaming in joy because one of Team 10's witnesses there corroborated Banks' story that nothing happened at all. It seemed to me like Banks was a free man at that point. But then just a little bit ago, DramaAlert dropped their interview with Max Beaumont, and my emotions took a turn for the worse. It was a very emotional video, and the reason why is because it came out that Max was being told by backstage members of Team 10, he was told to be quiet until after Jake Paul had met with FaZe Banks and Alyssa Violet.
Honestly, what made me decide to speak out, I wanted to speak out from the very beginning. I wasn't allowed. I was told not to speak out. I wanted to call FaZe immediately after it happened and clear this all up.
Who told you not to speak out about this?
Different people that work, that people are behind the scenes. There's a guy that you don't even know that works pretty high up at Team 10 who just said, say nothing for now. They're going to meet with Banks and they're going to sort this all out and then issue a statement.
So you literally went to Team 10 and you were like, look, I want to tell my side of the story, and they just told you not to.
Yeah, and I wrote out this whole thing, and they just did not want me to be sending anything out. And I told them I really wanted to speak to Banks. I really wanted to be at that meeting that they were going to have at Banks, and they wouldn't let me do either.
But he just couldn't do it anymore. He decided that he needed to tell the truth, and so he voluntarily left Team 10. And the part where it got really emotional was because he admitted that by leaving Team 10, by coming out with the truth, not only did he lose everything like his job, but he also lost everybody, all of his friends that were at that house. He even said that Meg herself was a friend of his for about 7 years, and she won't even talk to him anymore. During his interview with Keemstar, he broke down crying, and that really got to me.
I don't know why she would do this. Like, it kills me as her best friend, like why she would put herself through this. Like she told me that night she knew it was an accident. She told me she knew it was an accident. Even if so much of it was not what she expressed to me that night, that it kills me because I love this girl. She's like a family member to me, and I hate that I have to come out and do this, but that is not what she said went down that night, and I'm not surprised that the security footage is not showing that.
And it's really hard even right now. I'm trying to keep myself kind of hyped up. I'm trying to maintain my enthusiasm from the beginning of the video, but it's really hard because he gave up literally everything to stand up for the truth. Keem said it himself. Max Beaumont is, in all intents and purposes, a hero.
You're in so many ways, you're a goddamn fucking hero. I mean, this man's life depended on really someone else to tell their side of the story of what happened that night, and that's exactly what you did. And you've lost everything because of it.
He sacrificed everything he had for the greater good. And I have to agree with Keem that Team 10, Jake Paul, Meg Zelly, everybody turning their back on Max for coming out and telling the truth, it really does speak to the type of people that they are.
Megan and Jake and people from Team 10, if this guy really is your friend, regardless, he's just doing the right thing and telling the truth and telling what he saw. So if you guys disown this dude for telling the truth, that doesn't reflect on him. That reflects on you.
They're more worried about their subscriber count, their views, instead of worrying about the truth or even worrying about a friendship at all. And that mood is actually where I thought my emotions were going to be when I made this video. But then I came across something on Twitter that really just fucking infuriated me. Not only wasn't it enough to come out with these accusations in Jake Paul's vlog on Friday, not only was it not enough to continue them in Erika's vlog on Friday, not only was it not enough to continue the charade through the entire weekend, and it's not even enough that an unpaid employee lost everything to come out with the truth, but apparently that snake bitch Erika and the victim Meg Zelly decided to go to Fox News and accuse Banks of the assault there too.
It was frightening mainly because my air supply was cut off. You know, when you hit your trachea on something, it hurts really badly.
McPherson says she managed to escape his grip, but not after the attack left her black and blue.
You know, it's the bruise is pretty predominant.
McPherson has identified her alleged attacker as another social media star, FaZe Banks, who she says was at the club the same night.
Everyone should feel okay going out to a nightclub and having fun with their friends. No girl or woman or anyone should feel like afraid to be somewhere.
No part of abuse, I don't care what the excuse is, drugs, alcohol, rage, whatever, like no part of it's okay. And I think it's very important to use our audiences to remind people of that.
They felt the need to get the mainstream media involved in it too. And what the actual fuck? Look, I don't know what your motivation is, Jake or Erika or Meg or whoever the fuck is really behind this. Every single fucking one of you should be absolutely ashamed of yourselves. You are trying to ruin innocent lives. For what? For your stupid popularity, for your stupid views, for your stupid subscriber count. Even while recording this video, I'm trying to maintain my temper so I don't break the camera or microphone. I thought before that one of the possibilities explaining the reason behind this story was that Banks just happened to be at Warwick where Meg, Alex, and Max were. And so it was just a matter of convenience. But now I really do think that it is actually a targeted attack. Now I really do think that it's because Banks is dating Alyssa Violet, who's Jake Paul's ex-girlfriend, and for some reason either Jake or Erika, his current girlfriend, can't get over that. I don't see why it's either of your issues, but I mean, apparently it is. Regardless, you've taken this rivalry way too far. You are actively slandering and trying to defame Banks' character, and you're not stopping. You're being proven to be liars every step of the way, and yet you won't stop. And yet you still think people are dumb enough to fucking believe your bullshit. The only people dumb enough are the little kids who are still subscribed to your channels. But now you're bringing it to mainstream media attention. I know that Banks has said that he's not going to be pursuing any more over the internet back and forth with you guys, but that he's still going to be pursuing a legal course to take care of you. I pray that he does not back down from that, because you absolutely should be sued for every fucking penny that you have. You need to publicly apologize for the shit that you're doing to Banks. You you publicly apologize to everybody who heard these bullshit allegations and even in the slightest believed any of it. And considering how far you've taken it, I think that you should all be in prison. Most of what's been going around Twitter is calling Erika a snake bitch, but before that, every one of you are being called snakes. And that's exactly what you are. Every fucking one of you should be ashamed of yourselves. Every fucking one of you should admit that you lied and that you continue to lie, and every single one of you should quit YouTube, turn yourselves in, and just disappear. To everybody who made it this far, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.